Cowabunga dudes, this is Anthony, aka Batbomb82, and welcome to the premiere episode of Totally Tubular Turtle Tuesday. Now from this point forward on my channel, every Tuesday, or every other Tuesday, will be a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle theme. I am a huge Ninja Turtle fan, and to be honest, I got a ton in my collection. So I'll be taking a look at lots of cool collectibles from the vintage line all the way up to the current TMNT products. So starting off, I'm going to be taking a look at one of my favorite sets in my collection. The Neca Eastman and Laird Black and White Ninja Turtle 4-pack. Now this set I believe was originally a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, and I've had this set for many years, so I'm so stoked to finally check them out and review them here for you guys. Ever since having them in hand, they have become some of my favorite TMNT action figures ever, and trust me, I do have a ton. So with this set finally in hand, let's take a closer look at the Ninja Turtles. Alright guys, now let's take a closer look at the Ninja Turtles here. Now this is by far, to this date, I know these are kind of older figures, but they are still my favorite turtles in my collection, with the exception of probably the original 4 turtles from the vintage line that I've had since I was a kid. Those are just pure nostalgic for the most part, but damn, these figures right here are incredible. Now I know they've done colored versions, you know, with the all red masks and things like that, and they even did knockoffs with the individual colors like the orange for Mikey, blue for Leo, and so forth. But the black and white ones, to me, are epic. Love the black and white deco in all these figures. Just so classic comic book versions, which I completely dig. So I'll start off with Michelangelo here. As you can see, for the most part, a lot of what you're going to see here is going to be the same thing. Now, all the body molds are exactly the same, and for the most part, all the sculpts are the paint is exactly the same. You might have a slight differentiation in paint here and there, like a little spot or a scratch, you know, might be a little different. But for the most part, they are exactly the same, which is pretty accurate considering the vintage comic book. The only real difference you're going to get, really, is the head sculpts. Each character has a different head sculpt. And you can see with Mikey here, he's got that solid grin, which is just classic Mikey, which I think looks very, very cool. I absolutely love this. I love what Neca did with the paint. Seems like every piece is molded in white, but then you got all these these black, you know, lining for the muscle structure and shadowed textures, you know, and the bandana and the teeth and nicks and scratches and dents and spots and all that. I mean, look at this. You even got a tail. You know, the old school turtles had tails. You know what I mean? Which is really, really cool. The sculpting, again, you got the more larger feet, which is more like the vintage comic book style, big fat turtle feet, which is really, really cool. I just absolutely love that. Then each character does get their weapons. So as you can see, Michelangelo's is his nunchucks. He's just done in white and black, and we do get an actual metal chain, which is fan-freaking-tastic. I mean, I love this so much. You can get some wild poses with those chucks, and man, such good figures. I absolutely love those here. So that's pretty cool. So now we can move on to Raph. You can see Raph right here. So, you know, he's the mean one, the kind of a jerk, but he's a total badass as far as the turtles go. Now you can see his face is a little different, where you can see he's totally angry and pissed off, which is befitting for the character. I absolutely love that. And again, you can see the body for the most part is all exactly the same. So like I say, if you bring in Michelangelo here, you can see where like those scratches are pretty much exactly the same. You see what I'm saying right here? All of those are exactly the same. With the paint differentiation, excuse me, might be a little different, but it's not out of hand. You know what I mean? So the real big difference is going to be the heads. You could tell which turtle is which mostly by that. So that he does come with his size, which is done in a solid white like that. And you got a little, oops, excuse me, you got a little black paint on there too. And he can hold them just like that. What I do love, he can technically hold them through the fingers like that too, which I always love. With Raphael, or excuse me, yeah, Raphael figure, where you can kind of hold it like that, which is pretty awesome. So I dig that quite a bit. So, and it's all the real same. Again, you get the tail right there, which is so cool. I love that. So now we're going to move on to Donnie here. Again, for the most part, the exact same figure, but we do get his bow staff for this guy. Love that bow staff right here. You can see all the wood grain in just like that with the wrap and things. All looks really cool. And then we got, it does split apart like so, just like that. It does make it a little easier getting into his hands and whatnot. I do wish he had a holster. That's one thing I do not like about these figures, probably my only real complaint. The only one that has any form of holding, storing the weapon is Leonardo. You can see his are in his bag. Nothing from Michelangelo, Raphael, or Donatello, which is a little lame. But again, I don't know, then maybe that's just a small complaint by me. Then you can see Donatello's face is different from the rest of them. He's a full closed mouth, slightly more serious and whatnot, kind of, I guess, a little more stoic, compared to the other turtles. So that's his real big difference right there. And they do got the softer bandana. I love that a lot. So pretty cool with him. Now we're going to move on to my favorite turtle, which is Leonardo, the leader that leads. My all-time favorite turtle ever. Just love this figure so much. Oh man, I'm so glad I have this set. I know the pricing of this set is ridiculous these days. I think I bought this set back in 2011, maybe early 2012, for like 80 bucks. Now I know it goes for like, I think maybe $300, maybe more. I'm not sure, I haven't really checked recently, but I know it's a crazy set price. So you can see his face is a little different too from the rest of the characters. It does kind of look a little bit like Raphael's, but you can actually see the difference in the paint apps a bit and in the sculpt. So it is a tiny bit different. And I do like that. And like I said, he does have holstering for his weapons. So you got those scabbards. Look at that, the white and the black. Oh, man, so freaking cool. And then he got his katanas like that. Just all solid white with a little bit of black right there. And some of the lining and whatnot. And he does hold those very well in each hand. I just think that's so cool. And he just got the really long handle, so you can actually get some two-handed poses out of him. That would just look very cool. I love that so much. I'm so glad they gave him at least some holstering, because I love the fact it's old school, where he has the two swords going to one side instead of going both sides just like that. So man, I can't believe how much I love these figures. They really are some of my, if not my favorite set of turtle figures. So as far as articulation goes, I'm going to use Donatello here, because there's actually quite a bit of articulation that we never really received with turtles until this set came out. So the head is on a ball joint. It does roll around just like that, as well as rotate left and right, and does look up and down pretty far. But we do get a disc hinge right there at the neck, so that rotates left and right, as well as looks all the way up, just like so, and all the way down. I mean, look how far they can look down. That's really cool. We got shoulder joints that go all the way up, down, and out. Rotation at the bicep, single bend at the elbow, rotation at the wrist, as well as hinge at the wrist. And check this out. So this belt is a softer plastic. So is this chest piece right here. You can see me pull the flap down, and it kind of feels that the shell is a separate piece, but it seems to be glued into the back. But there actually is an ab crunch in there. So I move the arms out of the way. You can see a cut in there. See right in there. You can see right in there where it actually able to crunch forward. So you can actually crunch forward, back and forth with this figure, as well as rotate at the waist, which is freaking amazing. We don't really get a lot of articulation like that with our Ninja Turtle figures. So since this is soft, we can't kick forward about that much. Not so much back because it hits the shell. We can do the splits about that far. Rotation at the thigh. Double jointed knees. Look very nice. We get an ankle joint. Allows you to point the toe up and down just like that. No ankle rocker. You got some pegs right there, peg holes. And then the tail actually rotates. So freaking amazing. So overall, Oh man, I know these are really pricey right now, and I'm just really glad that I have these in my set. They really are just beautiful pieces, some of the most amazing things, in my opinion, that NECA has ever made, to be honest. They're just beautiful, especially if you're a big fan of the Ninja Turtles, big fan of the old Mirage comic books, you know, the old Eastman and Laird style things. These are easily the best renditions of those characters in figure form you're ever going to get. And just thanks to NECA for giving us things like that. And in a future video, I will definitely be reviewing another NECA turtle set that I have. Stay tuned for that. But overall, these are just beautifully they're just masterpieces to me. They are complete works of art, and I absolutely love them.
So for a quick size comparison, here they are standing next to a Marvel Legends Captain America figure, as well as a DCUC Batman figure. And for your TMNT comparison, here they are standing next to the vintage Ninja Turtle figures. And yes, those are the vintage Ninja Turtles that I've had ever since I was a kid. They've had plenty of love, and they are still some of my all-time favorites. And just for fun, here they are standing next to little Lego Bat Bomb. So there it is, guys, my review of the NECA Eastman and Laird TMNT 4-pack. Now overall, I absolutely love these figures. They are easily some of the best Ninja Turtle figures that I think we have ever received. They are beautifully sculpted, beautifully painted, and at the time some of the best articulated Ninja Turtle figures that we had ever gotten. So I highly encourage you to hunt down these figures. They will be absolutely highlights in your collection. So please comment, like, and subscribe. Stay nerdy, my friends, and cowabunga, dudes. Peace.